Hey guys, Cal from Team ChainBlock here, and today I'm here with another video. Today it's going to be a follow-up to the previous video I did on my Voiceless voice deck list. This is the list that won locals. If you didn't see the previous pinned comment that I ended up putting up on the video, I did end up winning the locals I mentioned in the last video. And originally the plan wasn't to upload this today. I was actually going to, me and the lads were going to record a bunch of profiles in bulk tomorrow, but I just figured, you know what? I saw a comment on the last video saying that that the deck is clearly full of bricks, and I'm here to prove that comment wrong. So yeah, if you haven't seen what these videos are like previously, it's literally just I show off a couple of the combos that you can do, and then I do a couple of test hands to be able to show off what the deck actually does. Before I get into any of the combos, Randy, make sure you check out the proud sponsor of the channel, still here with us, kongscards, and make sure you use ChainBlock 5 for 5% off. These tins that are coming up are going to be included in that, and any singles from that 5% off is going to be crazy. If you haven't seen the tin so far, you see reprints such as SP Little Knight in it, and to my very much misfortune, it was announced yesterday that the 4 other pieces of Yugioh are going to be in 25th anniversary. It's not great for someone like me who paid max prices for the Starlight rares, but we live and we learn. Don't do that again, I suppose. But yeah, fresh into the combos. So first combo I'm going to be showing off is just a basic voiceless voice combo by opening up low or any way too low. So the first combo with low. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to normal summon the low. You're going to trigger the low effect to place the barrier. Use the barrier effect to search for Saphira. And then basically you're going to go Saphira effect, dumps itself and prayers, and searches for any of the light rituals in your deck that are a warrior or a dragon. So you have a selection of Skull Guardian, Pendulum Graph, and Cerebus. Typically, you tend to open at least one of these in your open hand, because you run a good few of the rituals. But just for this case, since we don't have an open hand, we'll search for the Skull Guardian. You'll go Saphira's effect to tribute the low, summon Skull Guardian. You'll chain 1 the low, chain 2 the Skull Guardian. Once again, if you haven't seen the previous combo video, basically the reason you do it in this sequence is because you want low to hit the field to make sure you get your Omni Negate guaranteed anyway. So that's why I always trigger low first, and chain 2 the Skull Guardian to search. And with the Skull Guardian to search, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. If you have another way to ritual summon, you can search for either 2 rituals, or you can search for any of the other pieces of the Voiceless engine. It's really up to yourself. And then low summon yourself back out again. Like I said in the previous one as well, the columns here really do matter in some situations, because with Link Rebo being banned, not this list just gone, the one before that, Snake Eyes do make relinquish anima a lot now. So like to protect yourself from the anima. I know you can negate it, but you don't really want to waste your negate on an anima. You'd rather have it for something much more impactful. So just avoid that altogether, but just summon in these columns here. And that's pretty much it for the first combo. Just basic ass low combo. Just that's pretty much the Voiceless voice bread and butter. Next combo I'm going to show you off is if you already see the Saphira in hand and you see the low as well. Which happens quite a lot actually. You'd be surprised. Or any way too low and opening Saphira is actually really good. It's weird how intricate you can get with it. Okay, so for this combo, opening up Saphira and the low, and basically what you're going to do is same as normal. You normal summon the low. You go effect to place the barrier, and this time the barrier, when you're triggering the barrier's effect to search, this time you're going to search for Blessing. A Blessing turns on your engine tenfold. It's so good to have. So we're just going to activate the Blessing straight away. You're going to go effect of Saphira. We'll dump herself and the prayers, and we'll grab you your Skull Guardian. Now here you're going to trigger the effect of Saphira to tribute the low, summon Skull Guardian, Lake again, chain link 1 low, chain 2 Skull Guardian, special low. The Skull Guardian will search. And for this, you'll search for either of these 2, which is okay either way. And then funny enough, because you summoned a non-ritual monster in that chain, the blessing will activate, allowing you to immediately summon the other one. But you don't want to do that just yet. What I tend to do is I usually leave it here, and then wait till my opponent's normal summon, then summon either the Ceravis or the Odd Eyes Pengraph. So then that way you get to trigger the low effect again in the graveyard, which allows you to place your Radiance as well. What I tend to do is also keep one of the Pendulum Zones open to make sure that you can resolve your Pendulum Graph if you opt to play the Pendulum Graph, which is key against Tempoi, because you cannot actually negate it if you can't put it into a Pendulum Zone, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's pretty much the second combo. Now I'm going to show a more intricate hand. Okay, so this is the hand that you're going to be going with if you open up a Nadir Servant with your low Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. So basically, what you're going to do here is do pretty much the same Voiceless Voice combo up to a certain point. You're going to go low, effect, place barrier, and here you're not going to use the barrier search just yet because you want to wait it out a little bit. And here you're going to go Nadir Servant. Nadir Servant is going to send the Garura, and the Garura is going to trigger after you search here now, and you're going to search for Dogmatica Maximus. You're going to trigger the effect of the Garura, and it doesn't really make much of a difference what you draw here. You can, yeah, sure, we draw Diviner, sure, why not? You're going to go effect of the Maximus, banishing the Garura, summoning the Maximus, and you're going to go to your Maximus effect to dump both the Herald and your Intis. You only dump these two because you have to pick two different names, and Garura is only once per turn, so there's no point of sending a second Garura. And then that Herald will trigger, allowing you to search for any of your rituals. So here you're going to search for your, sorry, I should have this prepared, for your Benten. So you're going to search for Benten, and then you're going to activate the effect of Barrier here to search for the Saphira again. You go the Saphira effect, dump itself and Prayers to grab a copy of the Skull Guardian, and here you're going to go Saphira effect, and I opt to not use low as the full tribute here so that you can send your low and your Benten. And that will allow you to summon out your Skull Guardian. You can go Chainlink 1 the low, Chainlink 2 Skull Guardian, Chainlink 3 Benten. Benten will grant you access to any of your Light Fairies that are the level 2 or lower ones, which are the more powerful ones. You can search any Light Fairy, but you're not really going to search any of the terrible ones. Let's be honest. You're going to search a Herald, your Orange Light. You're going to search for a Diviner based on your circumstance, or you're going to search for the Ava. So this very much depends on the hand. The Herald of Orange Light, I tend to open that quite a bit. So if I've opened the Herald of Orange Light, I'll just grab the Ava. So then that way, Herald of Orange Light can actually trigger the Ava in the graveyard after you've used it to negate a card effect, which is very, very good. But for this scenario, we'll just say we search for the Herald because we drew the Diviner off of the draw one with the Garura. So that's our hand now as it stands. Then we have the Skull Guardian will search for one of your rituals. Doesn't really matter which one. And low will summon herself out. And then this is what you're sitting on right now is the 1 Skull Guardian, the low, making so that these can't be targeted. You have the monster negate, and you have a target negation as well if you really need it. So that's pretty good off of 2 cards, I think, in any way. But yeah, that's pretty much. I think you kind of get the gist of it. So now I'm just going to start doing a couple of test hands. I'll do 3 test hands. That's what I typically do. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, so test hand number 1. What I like to do in these test hands is I like to pile shuffle it. For anyone who's counting while I'm pile shuffling, by the way, you're going to use the deck count as 41. I did make a couple of small adjustments to it. It wasn't really anything that cost me any games or anything. It was just more of a consistency thing. I didn't think I needed to use the extra Foolish Burial or anything. But I'll put the changes down in the comments. I'll put it in the pinned comments below if you want to take a look at it if you're really interested. So yeah, we pause shuffle, and then what I tend to do is I tend to take the top 5 cards of the deck and then put them to the bottom to make sure that I am not stacking. So open hand is Nadir's Servant, Blessing, Diviner the Herald, Benten, and Saphira. So this hand actually goes kind of crazy. So what I'll tend to do in this scenario is I'll trigger the Nadir's Servant first. I'll go for Nadir's Servant first, simply because if I can bay out an Ash Blossom here, that'd be ideal. But say we like to assume that my opponent has no hand drops because it's more awkward to play against. So actually Nadir's Servant, Dunkaroo like last time. We'll grab ourselves the copy of Dogmatica Maximus. That's a mouthful whenever you're trying to talk properly. Then you'll go Effect of the Garura. We'll give it a good shuffle here and a decent cut. And then let's see what we draw. Draw a Nibiru. Nice. So what you'll do here then is you'll activate the blessings. Not for any specific reason, just it's good to have it on early. You'll go Effect of Dogmatica Maximus, banishing the Garura to summon itself. Getting ahead of myself here now. Effect of the Maximus will dump the Entis and the Arclight, and here is where it can get kind of cracked, because now with the Herald of Arclight you can search for what I typically search for in a hand like this anyway. I'll search for a second copy of Cyber Angel Benten, and then I'll go Effect of Saphira will dump herself and the ritual spell to grab a copy of the Skull Guardian from the deck. You'll go Effect of Diviner to when you know the Diviner, then Effect, obviously. You'll dump your copy of Trias Hierarchia, and then Trias Hierarchia will, for cost, tribute the Diviner of the Herald, special itself. Diviner will summon from the deck. Let me find her. Summon the low. Low effect will place the barrier. And then you'll go barrier effect to search. And it doesn't really make too much of a difference what you're going to search here. What I tend to do is just search for some sort of follow-up for the next turn. Like access to a second low is always very nice, so I'll just search for a low. Then you'll go Effect of the Saphira in the grave, and you'll tribute the 2 Cyber Angel Benten. Since they're level 6, you can tribute the 2 of them to pay the cost for your Skull Guardian. Sorting out the Skull Guardian, you can go Chainlink 1 Skull Guardian, Chainlink 2 Benten, Chainlink 3 Benten, because Benten is not once per turn if you haven't read that card before. So it lets you search for 2 life areas from the deck, which immediately turns on your Ava and your Herald Orange Light combo, which is absolutely immaculate. It's a lovely, lovely combo to get off. And then your Skull Guardian, if you have any knowledge of what your opponent's playing, which typically you would if you have the Dogmatica Maximus, which they send 2 of the extra cards, you can kind of get a grasp of what they're playing. So based on what they're playing, you'll search for either Ceravis or the Odd Eyes Pengraph. For I usually like to search for Odd Eyes Pengraph because I'll explain it now when I get to the end board. And then what we're going to do is pretty much just a pass on that. So that's the end board as it stands. So my reason behind playing it out this way, I'm not sure if that's even in frame. No, that's not even in frame. Okay. You know we have the blessing on board, so we just put it over this side for now. So the reason I have it laid out this way is you have the Omni Negate in Skull Guardian with a low up. Obviously, it's 4/1. Your opponent has to attack that card. Since all the cards on the field are light, they have to attack the light ritual, which is great because realistically they're probably not going to beat over it. Then you have the Trias or Dogmatica Maximus on the field as well for some extra fodder to protect your life points with. You have the Herald of Orange Light and the Ava in hand, which acts as a monster negate and destroy. You have the Nibiru if you really need it and you're desperate. You have the low for the follow-up, and that's the reason why I opted to grab the Pengraph instead. Because when my opponent would summon any card that's not a ritual monster, I can immediately ritual summon. So probably do here is like tribute like the Trees hierarchy or something. Similar to Pengraph, and then obviously this wasn't in that zone, it was here. So then that way you have a monster negate, an omni negate, you spell negate, and then your opponent can't activate any effects in the battle phase, which is absolutely insane. And then when you do use your monster negate in the Herald of Orange Light, because obviously you're gonna, the Eva will trigger, allowing you to banish the Benten and the Diviner of Heralds in the graveyard. And since you've gotten to this point already, like you have a myriad of different light fairies that you can banish to trigger the effect of Eva in graveyard, so it's nice to have access to it. But yeah, you can banish the Benten and the Diviner of Heralds even to grab 2 more level 2 or lower fairies, in which this case you could grab another Diviner and another Herald of Orange Light, because Herald of Orange Light is not a once per turn negate, so that's 2 monster negates as well. So like the end board is crazy. It doesn't look like much when you're ending on just these and Trias Hierarchy. Like it doesn't look like too much to your opponent, but by this point, like they're kind of cooked. Like they are kind of cooked. So that's the gist of the deck, and this is kind of the open hands that I kind of saw the whole way through that locals. That's why I want to get the point across that like I don't think this deck is as bricky as it does seem during the deck list. I'll show another test hand just to prove my point here. Okay, test hand number 2. Like I did last time, I'm going to pile shuffle, and hopefully that last hand got you a good grasp of what the deck can do. It did take a little while to do that test hand and play it out, but that's because I wanted to explain in a good bit of detail exactly how the deck works and functions. If I open a similar hand this time, I'll just kind of speed through it and see what see if there's anything unique that this deck can open. Like I did last time, top 5 cards to the bottom, and then I'll draw my open hand of Low, Barrier, Saphira, Ava, and Benten. That's absolutely criminal. That is a criminal opening hand. This is cracked. So pretty much the first thing you're going to do is go Low, effect of Low to place. Low is going to place a copy of Blessing. You'll activate Barrier. Barrier effect to search. We'll grab you a copy of your Skull Guardian. So then pretty much you have everything at your disposal, and you don't really have to, you're not really too bad. So if you get drawled here, you're grand. Like you're just fine, because the Saphira can play underneath the draw anyway. So it's not the end of the world if you do get drawled. But let's play it out like normal anyway. We go Saphira effect, done per self, and the ritual spell. To grab a ritual monster, I'll grab the, oh, about to grab Skull Guardian there, we didn't want that. To grab the Pengraph. Now we'll go effect of Saphira, tribute in the Low, nope, not from the extract, to summon the Voiceless Voice Skull Guardian. What a fella. Effect of Low chain 1, chain 2, Low will summon herself back again, Skull Guardian will search, and you'll grab your copy of Soravis, and then you'll go effect of Blessing of the Voiceless Voice. We'll let you ritual summon again. Here you're going to tribute the Ava and the Benten, and you are pretty much Gucci to go with either one of these in this scenario, because you're set up for next turn's one anyway. So I'll opt to do the Pengraph again. You'll go chain 1 Ava, chain 2 Benten, banishing the Benten for cost as Ava. Benten will grab you a copy of the Herald of Orange Light, and then Ava will grab you a copy of whatever you want. Sure, we'll grab a Diviner just in case. But this is kind of the same setup again, except with just without the rip from the extract, if you will. But the way this is going to play out then is you'll pass your turn over, your opponent will draw, standby main, and in that turn you have a monster negate. In this, you have the Soravis that you can ritual summon. As soon as your opponent summons something that's not a ritual, you have a spell negate and omni negate, and then you have the prayers in the graveyard as well to recycle your board if you really, really wish to. So like I said, pretty bog standard. Well, not as long as the last test hand, not as in depth, but still works the exact same way pretty much. Kind of plays through a lot of things. Yeah, kind of plays through a lot of things. I don't know if you heard that on the camera. I hope not. Ideally you didn't. But yeah, so yeah, that plays through a lot of the kind of hand traps or something that you would see. But let's go into the third test hand anyway, just to get a feel for it. Okay, third test hand, final test hand. Gonna go again, pile shuffle. Don't know why I went with 8 this time, but we'll run it. Oh, don't do that. But yeah, hopefully you get a good grasp of how the deck's working. It does its job fairly well, and as you can see, 2 test hands in, and you pretty much end on the same board. Maybe just 1 or 2 less pieces. That's only because you didn't see like specifically Nadir Servant. Like I did last time and the time before, top 5 to the bottom, and then I will draw my opening hand of Diviner, Benten, Nadir Servant, Low, and Saphira. So look, you can probably judge already, this is a cracked hand as well. Starting off again, we'll go Nadir Servant, dump the Garura, search for Maximus. We'll go effective Garura with trigger. I'll shuffle the deck up a bit, give it a good cut, and then draw 1. We'll draw into a Nibiru again, apparently. But yeah, your opponent's pretty much cooked here. You'll go Maximus effect, banishing the Garura, summon itself, go effect, dump 2 from the extra, effect of the Herald. We'll grab you any of your rituals. You'll probably grab another Benten here, because you have access to pretty much everything else already. So getting a couple more pluses is always nice. And then you're pretty much free to pop off. You'll go Low, effective Low, to place Barrier. Barrier will search for Blessing, and then you'll activate the Blessing just to have it up, ready to go. You'll go effective Saphira, dump herself and the prayers to grab a copy of your Skull Guardian. Grab your copy of Skull Guardian. And then basically here, the only route ready to go now is just constantly ritual summoning. You'll tribute the Low and the Benten. Yeah, you'll trip the Low and the Benten to summon out the Skull Guardian. You'll chain link 1 Low, 2 Skull Guardian, 3 Benten. Benten will grab you a copy of Ava. Then your Skull Guardian will grab you your copy of Pengraph, and then Low will summon herself back to the field. So here you have an Omni Negate again. You'll trigger the effect of Blessing then, because Low just summoned herself to the field, and you will tribute off the Ava and the Benten. And that is pretty much enough to cook your opponent now. You summon Pengraph, you'll chain link 1 Benten, chain 2 Ava, banishing the Entis and the Herald, and you'll use them to grab Herald of Orange Ray, another copy of Low, and you could grab another Herald of Orange Ray. So this is absolutely bonkers. This hand is crazy. Granted, you don't end on the Ceravis, but that honestly doesn't matter in this scenario. You've got an Omni Negate, you've got your Spell Negate, you've got 2 Monster Negates, because all you need is itself and a Light Fairy, which is what you have here. And then if you don't even need to use the other Herald, then you can also have the Low or the Diviner for follow-up for the next turn. And then when you're going for the kill, like Skull Guardian's 4-1, this is 2-7. You'll probably just clear this off somehow. And then you can get probably another Skull Guardian and another Ritual on the board. Like, it's not difficult to kill with the deck then after you're done. So I hope this gave you a good insight to how the deck actually works. I kind of tried to be as like linear as possible with it, but this, like, there's, as you can see, there's multiple different avenues to get to different points. And then having multiple negations in the hand as well as on the field is always a nice little touch up as well. So I hope I showed you that this deck doesn't brick as heavily as certain people might think. Yeah, hopefully it gave you a good insight to the deck. And once again, make sure you check out our sponsors, KongsCards, and use ChainBlock 5 for 5% off. Get your copies of SP Little Knight. Get your copies of the Exodia pieces for the new Forbidden 1 archetype. And please like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Peace.